Okay.
Still takes me a couple. Oh my! It still takes
Oh
me a couple
wow.
minutes to get
Ah.
shit going. That's beautiful. Did you read that comic that I had provided in our chat about Waluigi?
Wow.
I read it. It was really cute. Oh no.
That's a whole episode down the drain.
Yeah, it is.
The
I really,
visual gag that no one can get.
yeah, I do love the the hand motions. Thank you for that.
I tried.
All right, that is good on the page.
I only have two things left from New York, like edible things. It's well, actually, this is actually gone. This is the bottle of Dasani that I bought in the airport.
Oh wait, is Dasani not a thing?
No, they tried to make it a thing for about a week, and it did not work because everyone was like, "Why would we buy water from the Coca-Cola people?" And then I have some Cheez-Its.
Oh,
That's all I have left.
So-
Funnily enough, I also brought back a bottle of water from Japan.
what?
With
What's wrong with you people?
hotel. The hotel we stayed at gave us like a free water bottle every time like they didn't change our sheets for us.
No.
because
Wait,
of,
what?
like they would change the sheets like they would make the bed every day, but they would change the sheets like every 4 days or something to
Oh.
like conserve water and whatnot. So any day that they didn't change the sheets, they would give you a bottle of water with the CEO of our like hotel chain's face on it. And so I had to bring this one home because that's my girl Fumiko now, and I
Yeah.
love her.
That's
She's a
amazing.
I kept the bottle of Dasani because it's large and it fits in my fridge.
All right, I got that
Apparently,
shared
you
in
shouldn't reuse plastic bottles. It's bad for you.
places. That's all shared. We're good to go. Yeah, we're good to go whenever now. So
And we're streaming on Pornhub again this time.
yes, I want to get that set up, but that might take a little bit more than I'm willing to do right now.
Understandable. Cool. Okay. Do you guys? Yeah, I guess I should intro the show. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's episode 33 for your reference.
33. Crikes. Last one I was on was 29. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 33 of Gaming Fix. I am your absentee host, Sam Harrison. We also have with us today the technical genius himself, Alex.
Coming to you live from Steam streaming,
Yeah,
Oh wow!
which just launched this week.
Wow.
we're quick off the ball with new technology.
Mhm.
And also Erica back from international travel.
Yeah, I was also absentee.
Absentee cat mom.
Absentee cat parents for the two of us.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, yo, so Sam, you're married now. You were not previously married when you were on the podcast.
It's my wedding ring. It's silver.
Hey.
How's married life?
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it because it's got a flat edge. You can see on the video, but everybody else can't.
I thought married life was really cool, but he was talking about his ring.
Yeah.
Oh. Married life is also very cool. It's basically the same as not being married, except that legally now Fiona has to give me half of her things if she gets bored of me.
There's a
You also
legal
get to wear
obligation.
that cool ring now all the
Yeah, I
time.
get to wear cool pimping jewelry.
So how has the transition been from going from my fiance to my wife?
So I found it very weird. So I still find it weird when Fiona's name comes up on my phone as with my surname, not hers. So because I'm like, who's that? Oh yeah, my wife. And basically, I don't tend to talk to that many people I don't know. So if I know somebody, I just refer to her by name. So I say, "Oh, Fiona and I were doing this, that, and the other." But if I meet somebody new, like yesterday evening, for example, I went to a friend's birthday, and there were people there that I did not know, and I was introducing. I was being introduced, and I said, "Oh, my wife and I did this thing," and it felt extremely weird. I'm sure it will get less weird. It's been not even an entire month yet. Oh, here's my wife.
Aww. Hi.
She says hello. Everyone says hi, Fiona. Fiona like, nodded and walked away and said hello.
All of the audience at home as well. They all say hello.
All 2 people that are watching. One of them is probably me. Yeah,
it was very weird for me when I took my husband's last name, and you go, in my case, 22 years with the same last name, and then all of a sudden you have a new last name, and it's real weird. I still don't know how to sign it well. Like my signature doesn't look good at all because it just doesn't feel good.
I wouldn't have thought about the act of changing the signature.
Yeah, it's real weird.
I was practicing her signature years ago. Like 2 weeks in. Day she met me, she says. She's practicing the signature. But yeah, it must be very weird for her to have changed her name, because it's weird for me that her name has changed. She forgets, she says, that her name has changed.
Yeah, it took me like a good year to really feel like, okay, my name is my name now.
Looks like Andrew might not be able to join us. That's a shame. But
that is quite all right. So, Erica.
Yes.
Japan. Would you go again?
Yeah, definitely. We're talking about maybe going next year if whatever job I have at the time allows me to. But we're thinking maybe like a week this time, 5 days, just to go maybe for the G1 finals again, which was the wrestling shit that we went to go see, and like maybe like a day in Disney or so.
Was that your like number one top thing that you did?
Oh, easily. Like we had so much fun, and it was in the Budokan, which is a really big historic.
Yeah.
It's a really big historic arena, and it was a big deal that it was there. It hasn't been there in a very long time, and when you go in that place, like it just feels important, like everything about it seems old and cool,
Awesome, yeah.
But
historic.
Yeah, and there's no bad seats in that place. Like everywhere is a good spot to sit. So except maybe even on the floor. Like the first 2 nights we were on the floor, and there's no elevation. So if you're stuck behind somebody tall, like you're screwed. Mm-hmm. But which happened to me the second night, and then for the final 2 matches, it was like I had like a guy in front of me and his much shorter wife next to him. And so she got up to go to the bathroom like right before like the second to last match of the night. And then when she came back, she had him move over, and then she sat in front of me, and I was like, oh my God, thank you.
She understands.
Like I think it's because she clocked me, like saw that I was like behind her and that there was a much taller man sitting next to me on the other side. So
yeah.
But I had a really great time. It was really fun. Like if anybody cares about New Japan, I highly recommend trying to see it live because it was really good.
Cool. And also, Sam, what would you say about New York? Would you go again?
Yeah, like 1,000 times. I felt like there was like infinite things that I haven't seen and didn't do. The best thing that we did, so basically all in one day, we did the NBC studio tour, Rockefeller Plaza, Nintendo New York, and then in the evening we went to see Late Night with Seth Meyers, which like Erica, do everything you can to get to go and see Late Night. It was so good. He was really, really funny, but it was so good to watch how they make it. So, like, for example, there were bits when, so they even do the breaks. So, like, when there's a break, they stop recording, and they stop for the length of time the break's going to be, because they're like, we want the experience to be authentic. But they do stuff in the breaks. So, for example, in the first break, Seth came and talked to the producers and was like, oh, did this go well? Did that go well? That joke was good. This joke wasn't good, etc. And like we were sat directly behind the producer's table, so that was like super awesome because he was maybe 3 feet from me. And then in the second break, after he'd interviewed Ewan McGregor, he was like, all right, now we're going to do some promos for local news teams. And he's like, so basically, this is going to go in the commercial bumper for the news. And he's like, this is where I pretend to know people that I've never met. And he's like, hey, you're watching like Roddy and James. Tonight I've got Ewan McGregor on the show. And then Ewan McGregor waves, and then the clip ends. And he's got maybe 4 or 5 seconds to do the whole thing. And basically, he has to do loads and loads in a row. He has to do like 10 in a row. He finishes the first one, and he's like, 6 left. And then like he does another one like instantly straight off the bat. And then Ewan McGregor's like, oh, you're so good at that. And it's like, oh, thanks, Ewan. Do you want to give it a shot? And he's like, oh yeah, go on. So Ewan McGregor does one. But Ewan McGregor just does it really quickly and really well. And Seth goes, you had to do that thing where you compliment me on something and then do it much better than me instantly straight after with no practice or preparation. And then he did what was the last? Oh, he said, oh, I'll do one as quick as I physically can. And he just goes, hi, it's Ewan McGregor. Like really, really quickly. It's really funny. It's really funny. Yeah, the warm-up comedian as well was very good. And like he was picking out people in the audience. He's like, hey, you guys, why are you here today? And like, oh, like Seth Meyers. And he's like, all right, well, what do you do for a living? And the woman was like, oh, I work for PepsiCo. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, what about you, sir? And he's like, oh, I'm a cryptocurrency analyst. And he just went, tell me and nothing else. Like, yeah, the whole experience was fantastic. And it's completely free. All you have to do is give up 3 hours of your life.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm going to go see something taped, but then I never do. I've gone to 2 TV show tapings, but they were Maury and Jerry Springer.
Nice.
I've never been to anything in New York. I had to go to Connecticut for both of those.
Wow. That's not what I would have expected. That's amazing.
It was my friend Lisa and we decided to skip all of our classes that day. And we got on a weird bus that picked us up on a random street in Manhattan. It was not a bus station. It was just like a spot where they told us to go. And they took us to go see Maury and Jerry Springer.
That's amazing.
Oh, no, wait, it wasn't Maury. It was, oh God. We didn't get to see Maury. I wanted to see Maury. It was Jerry Springer and what's the guy? No, the guy who used to be on Jerry. Oh, Steve Wilkos.
Oh, yeah.
His show. And yeah, he was a dick. He was such an asshole. Oh my God, he's the worst.
Is that the point though?
Like, yeah, but he was like a dick to people in the audience. Like at the beginning of Jerry's show, he was super cool. I wasn't expecting to like his show as much as I did because I liked Steve's show better at the time. And Jerry was like super cool, and he started like the show with like a little bit of stand up, and it was very funny. And then but Steve, what he did, because he's not a funny man, he did like a Q&A at the beginning, and he was like super rude to everybody asking him questions. Like, sorry, you asked for questions. I don't know why you're so upset about them. But
yeah, Seth did a Q&A in the final break, and I got to ask a question. It was very good. I basically was like, which person have you always wanted to get on the show and you've never been able to book? And he said, oh, okay, so I'm in love with Rihanna.
Rihanna?
Yeah, he's like, I'm in love with Rihanna. And my wife fully supports my love of Rihanna because she knows that it's unrequited. So he's like, I would love to have Rihanna on the show, but also I'm not sure I want to know. Like, it was extremely funny. He like, most of the others were like, how do I get into comedy? How do I do this? How should I do that? And mine was like the question that was like, tell us a good joke, basically. So I felt really pleased about that. Also, we were in the front row. Like, we were literally right at the front. We were about 20 feet from Ewan McGregor when he was being interviewed. Ewan McGregor was lovely as well. Yeah, I just try and think of other good bits from the show, but New York in general is just amazing.
Did they have weird clothing requirements for you? Because they like told us what colors we could and couldn't wear.
So there were no clothing requirements, and I can tell you exactly why. It's because Seth never shows the audience in his show.
Oh, okay, that's a good point.
I've seen a few episodes of it now. Most of it I watch clips on YouTube, and like they were like, "Oh, we like to pan to the crowd during the monologue, so make sure that like you're not doing something stupid and you're laughing on cue and you're paying attention during the monologue." But the camera literally never looked at us. Like I was watching the camera to see if it was on us to make sure I was doing it right, and it literally never even turned towards us. So it was filming like the drummer for the band because they have a guest drummer whenever Fred Armisen isn't available. But yeah, the whole experience was incredible. Like, wouldn't trade it for anything. And the NBC Studio tour was awesome. Like, we got to see the Saturday Night Live stage. So like, look down and like you see the whole stage, and like the stage is tiny. It's like twice the footprint of my quite small house, and it's where they had the whole of SNL. Like the musical performances stage.
Yeah.
Like that's not much bigger than the kitchen that I'm sat in right now, and like that's a third of their set space. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They do Weekend Update on the monologue stage. I never even knew that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Because I asked, I was like, "Where's Weekend Update?" And they were like, "Right there." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And the people who are sat on the floor, in the show, you see sometimes people are sat on the floor. They're all vetted. They're all friends of cast members. Normal people aren't allowed to sit down there because they might interact with the celebrities.
Makes sense.
Cool though.
So Erica.
Yes.
When it comes to 14+ hour plane rides.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
What was better for you for video games? Was it the Switch, the phone, a laptop?
I don't think I touched the Switch at all on the flight. Xavier was playing it a lot, but I don't think I touched it at all, and we didn't do anything co-op either. I used my phone.
Wait, you didn't live the dream? You didn't kick out the kickstand and hold one Joy-Con each?
We didn't. I don't think we didn't at all. Wow. I'm actually surprised that we didn't prop up the thing on the tray table or anything. But yeah, I honestly, that flight was just so miserable. Most of the time I ended up like just listening to music, closing my eyes and pretending like it wasn't happening, It was the worst flight, especially the second flight home was really fucking bad.
Oh, that sucks.
I don't recommend Air China if you can avoid it. But they also lost our bags. So it took like another day to get our bags back on the way home, but everything made it okay. And we brought back like bowls and like plates and stuff that we liked. So like they came back intact. So that was good. But the way there, I pretty much only played Wordscapes. And which is a super fun game and is really good, and I'm glad you recommended it to me. And on the way back, all I played was Holedown, which I will talk about. Actually, this is a good segue for it. If you guys
we're just talking about Holedown right now.
It's almost like I was setting it up without speaking of
speaking of holes.
This week's episode of the Beastcast, Abby just constantly says the word balls, and it's very funny.
So anyway, Holedown is a brick breaker game, and it's not revolutionary in any kind of way. It's not doing anything crazy with brick breaker games. It's still breaking bricks, but it's so unbelievably fine-tuned and polished, and it lets you like revel in your success a little bit. Like the game, when it ramps you up, but you start out I think with like 2 balls, but you can get up to you get up to like at 32 is like I think the highest starting amount you can get, but you can earn up to 99 in a run. And when you when you get off like weird angles and things like that, and cool things happen, when you drop like a lot of bricks all at once, oh, I should say that if you drop like a bottom brick, that all the bricks above it will fall down with it, as long as they are not polka dotted bricks. The polka dotted ones you have to hit with the thing in order to get it to fall, and you have to hit each brick like a certain number of times. It says on there it's could be like 70 or
Right. So it's got some Tetris to it.
Yeah. So it's like when you clear like a good number of bricks all at once by like letting a bunch of them fall, it does this thing where it like slows down the music and like lets the balls drop in slow motion, and it's so satisfying and good, and it's just like I'm just like, oh, I'm the best at this game every time that happens. There's also like, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that kind of reminds me of like what was it, Pac-Man Championship Edition DX?
Yeah, it's kind of like that in terms of like letting you be excited about what you just did because you did a cool thing. And there's like a little guy in the corner that just like waves around and is super happy for what you're doing. He's very cute. But yeah, I don't know. This game is just super well polished. Like, it's $4 on the App Store, but you can literally not put any more money into it if you wanted to. There are no loot boxes. There are no purchases whatsoever. At least as far as I'm aware, but I don't see where else they would hide them. But and the only currency is the crystals that you pick up as you go that you use to spend on upgrades. And it's well worth the $4 in my opinion. I've gotten lots of hours out of it. I've gotten all of the upgrades now, and I've hit all of the worlds. You're supposed to be like drilling into the core of a planet, and then once you get to the core you have to like hit the core a certain number of times and hope you have enough shots to do it. But I've hit the last one of those and I think that's it, but I do have like a weird sneaking suspicion that there's a true ending to this game, but it's like small spoiler, like the last level is like an infinite level, but I don't really think it's actually infinite, so I don't know. We'll see if I get there.
That's cool. Does it have any form of like narrative, even like in the like just little itty bits of lore that show up here and there? Or
no, there isn't at all. The only reason why I think it might be infinite is on the like left side of the screen there's like a meter that ticks down where when you're getting closer to like the core of the planet, and it's like however many meters down you are, but the black hole one, which is the last one, has a meter and it does tick down, but extremely slowly, and I've gotten nowhere near the bottom.
Cool.
But so that's why I think that there probably is like a true ending, but we'll see. I don't know. Hopefully I get there someday because I really do like this game.
How did you happen upon it?
Xavier was playing it on the bullet train in Japan. And I'm like, what's that game? Because I mean, as much as I like Wordscapes, it was like I was stuck on one puzzle for like a day.
That'll happen.
And so I'm like, all right, I need a different game because we're on like this train for like 5 hours. So I need to find something to do. And then I ended up really playing a lot of it because of we went to like a weird cave when we were I sent you guys pictures. There was like a cave that we went to in Japan that has like underground lakes. It was like super cool. But at the train station that services that area was taken away in a landslide. So
wow.
So you have to take like a train much further away and then take a 2-hour bus there, and that 2-hour bus like has like a stop and a rest area for a bathroom break because it's so long.
Holy crap. Wait, how recent to your visit did that station get all messed up?
Oh, like a few years before. Like
okay. It wasn't like within a week.
Okay. No. Okay. A few years. But there's like 2 trains. There's like one bus every 2 hours that goes there. So like if you miss the last one, like that's it. You're fucked. Like you're staying there overnight now. Unless you're walking, but I'm not. Like, but I don't know. So on that that bus, I spent pretty much the entire time playing Holedown. And I don't know where did you
I think it was the game of the day on the App Store.
Oh, it was the game of the day on the App Store, and that's why he picked it up.
Sick.
Dan mentioned it on the Beastcast, that's why I downloaded it. But I've only played like 5 minutes. Everyone was playing that or something else on the subway. Hole.io or Holedown. Hole.io is the fake multiplayer donut county.
But yeah, I did notice that there's like been a lot of there's like a Polygon article 2 days ago about Holedown stuff, and yeah, I noticed it's getting a little steam.
I honestly hadn't even heard of it before you put it into the playlist, so
yeah,
it's a good game.
Yeah, it's very good. It's really, really well polished, worth the $4 in my opinion. The music's really, really good. It would definitely be like a Game of the Year music contender for me.
Cool. And it's made by one Swedish dude, apparently. That's awesome. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. He put out 2 other games, but I hadn't heard of them. I just saw the names of them, but I don't remember what they are now.
It's the new 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the new 2048. There's probably another one we're missing.
No, 2048 isn't the new 3s. So, speaking of missing something, Alex, you want to talk about having forgotten Anne?
I almost forgot about Anne, but then I came back to her. So I think I talked about this game like maybe a month and a half ago. You guys were definitely here for it. It was when I brought like a series of like 7 games or something all at once.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like the one at the very end that I was like, yeah, I just like touched it. I haven't actually done anything with it. So, I've restarted it this week and finished it completely. So I've seen it from start to finish and have lots of things to say about it. So first, Forgotton Anne is a class-based first-person shooter in a battle royale game. No, just kidding. It's this like ridiculously stylish 2D and sometimes 3D puzzle platformer game. And my feelings on it are fairly positive. I'm not going to say they're wholly positive because they're definitely not. But the game itself is just a straight up single player, linear, narrative driven game. The story in general is super cool. And the writers actually came up with a whole load of just really creative lore for their universe. Like if you look around, there's lots of history like hiding in the nooks and crannies for you to explore, which I always really appreciate. And I'd say that the majority of the story, the narrative stuff, is executed really, really well. Like, if you want the short version of the story, is that it takes place in this world where all of the forgotten things from our lives end up. So, like, your books or your blankets or your TVs or whatever. So, objects that get forgotten end up in this world, and then they're anthropomorphized and given life in, like, within this realm. So, you play as Anne, a human who lives in this realm. And you are the quote-unquote enforcer of the realm, which is basically she's the highest authority just under the person who actually rules the entire land. And so I won't give away too much of the story because it's a narrative-driven game, so it has lots of twists and turns as you would want, and they're executed very well. But one of the things I really like is that throughout the entire story, there's a ton of opportunities where you can just straight up like murder any of the characters, like any of the NPCs, like any of them at any time. And that game choice actually has quite a bit of consequence, and especially on the ending. Like, I don't really want to compare it to something like Walking Dead or Undertale or anything like that. It's kind of its own thing, but it is a very choice heavy game, even if there's subtle choices. And I actually really, really enjoyed that. And also about the story, the thing I really love about it is it's a well-written and a very concise narrative that has a good start, middle, and end. But its message is really clear and like really subtle at times and handled really well. So it ends up kind of being about like altruism and empathy contrasted with like extreme narcissism and self-righteousness and stuff like that. But it also deals like with some pretty heavy subjects, because like if you think about it, the general populace of this area are everyday objects, and the 2 people in control are humans. So
Right.
like there ends up being questions of ethics of whether or not these quote unquote things that have minds and thoughts and memories and everything like that, if they hold as much value as a human life. So you get like a lot of questions of morality and stuff. They handle it pretty well, though admittedly a few times it's not super subtle. Like it's just basically on the nose, but other than those, it was really cool. Visually, like its style is really, really, really cool and elegant. I'd say it sits somewhere between a really well-drawn motion comic and like a Studio Ghibli film. So it's really whimsical and it's just beautiful. The environments, you go through a whole bunch of unique and visually different areas, and it kind of feels like, I don't know, let's say Howl's Moving Castle. So like kind of a pseudo-European kind of thing, like almost like a Japanese Europe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then
I know about that now.
yeah, like it's always really good, but the character art is also really good. And there's like dozens of characters. Like I'll get back to that. They're one of the best parts of the game, but the only problem with the character art is, though it is really pretty and when it's in motion it's super cool, sometimes they zoom really far in and it looks real grainy when they get that far in. Like it's pretty ugly, but it's fine. They don't do it that often. It's just really jarring because you're just like, oh, I see all the pixels. Okay. But yeah, the characters, the story is probably the best part of the game. The characters are definitely a huge part of that. And like I said, there's dozens of them, each with their own backstory, and each of them are voice acted. They all play a part in the narrative, and like a lot of them come back later, kind of stuff like that. It's really good. I think they're all awesome. The music is really great, performed by a large orchestra and stuff. But I'm singing all these praises, but I do have a fair share of criticisms.
Okay.
Most egregiously, it feels like total ass to play. Like,
oh no.
the control is just terrible. Like sometimes it's totally unresponsive, or like Anne would be doing really unexpected stuff. Like I'd be launched into the air when I'm trying to grab a ladder and like fall down to the start of the level, and it feels awful. I would say it's definitely a way better game to watch than to play. And it was about a 9-hour game, and I would say some of the early game was extremely boring. Like just kind of story was going at a snail's pace, and the puzzles, you're looking at them and you're like, yeah, I know what the answer is. This is just going to take me 20 minutes. Like collect this, bring it here, do that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a slog, though it gets way better in the second half. And speaking of puzzles, some of them are just fucking terrible. Like
no.
they felt more like trial and error than actual, like, you know, engaging your brain to try and come up with a solution. It was just like, I'm just going to move these things around and hopefully it works. So in the end, I think it was a good game, not a great game. I recommend it, and like if you want me to give it a star rating, I'd probably say it's a 4 at its best, and then probably a 3 on average. But no matter what, it's going to be coming back up in the Game of the Year talks for best story, because like I said, it deals with some pretty interesting ethical stuff, and it goes in some pretty fascinating directions that I will definitely spoil come that time of year. So yeah, Forgotton Anne, you can find it on Steam, PS4. I don't know about Xbox. Pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. It does look very pretty.
Yeah, it's a super gorgeous game, and again, maybe get Xavier to play it so you don't have to touch the controls at all.
It is out on Xbox.
It is on Xbox? Okay, great.
Yeah.
It has some replay value. Like I said, the choices have consequences, and at the end you kind of get a stage select. It's kind of a spoiler to tell you how, but it's in narrative. So.
Interesting. Okay. So one of the reasons I haven't been on the podcast in the last month is because I've been pretty busy getting married and going to New York, and not really having time for games. But what I have done is, whilst I was in New York, whilst I was waiting for Fiona to get ready in the morning, I was playing about 15 to 20 minutes worth of VIII Lacrimosa of Dana, which was just released for the Nintendo Switch. It came out on PS4 a year or so ago. And I would describe East as what if a Monster Hunter game was a Dynasty Warriors game. So it's missing a lot of the stuff of Monster Hunter apart from the structure. So it's kind of like there's a base camp that you're building up, and you are going out into the wilderness to explore this island. And the more you explore the island, the more resources you have, the more abilities things you can do, basically. But the combat feels kind of like a bit more grown-up Dynasty Warriors. So you can hack and slash if you want, but you're gonna need to use healing items and that sort of thing. Like most enemies are weak to a certain damage type, so like piercing, bludgeoning, etc. Ranged weapons, and you can switch between your party members at will to make sure that you're dealing the right kind of damage. Once you open up an enemy to that kind of damage, anyone can damage them at full attack power. And also there's a perfect dodge and a perfect block. So, for example, if you are fighting like a crab dude and it jumps in the air and slashes at you, if you block it at the exact time it hits you, you get like 10 seconds of every attack guarantee crit. So, like, there's a little bit of skill in there if you want to try, but if you don't, you don't have to. You can still just kind of slash away. And the dodging and dashing stuff, if you dash out of the way at the exact right time, and the window on that is pretty wide, then you get the same thing again. You get a burst of speed to get back to the enemy, and 10 seconds of like guaranteed crit. So it's really cool for against bosses. I've literally never played an East game before. I don't know if any of you guys have.
No.
Yep, but I didn't love it. So
it's really weird because it's the kind of game that I would normally pick up for 10 minutes and go, this isn't for me. But I've played like 6 or 7 hours of it. And as someone who's probably, since this game came out, only played about 10 hours of video games, I felt like it was significant enough to talk about.
Yeah.
And I did play one thing this morning that I thought might be semi-interesting. I played the Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate demo for Switch. So that's just Monster Hunter.
More Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's more old school Monster Hunter. I was better at it than I thought I would be. And I was teaching one of my friends who'd never played Monster Hunter what specific things were, and he was like, I wouldn't have even got past the first encounter with this monster if you hadn't told me what to do. So it was really fun. I still am unsold on buying it, I have to say.
All right.
I'm interested in it, but I think that the void in my life that I wanted Monster Hunter to fill is Diablo now. I just have to wait a couple of months.
Are you Monster Huntered out from like earlier this year too?
Not so much, no. I think I've only played like 60 or 70 hours. I know a lot of people were in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Very
totally reasonable.
Very good value for money. Yeah, I played Monster Hunter for quite a long time. I think that the thing with that was that when I was very into Monster Hunter, I was working from home, so I had a lot more free time. So like I was taking an hour's lunch break and just playing Monster Hunter for that hour, and then when I was back working, I would eat at my desk. So yeah, Monster Hunter was very easy for me to play a lot of. And everybody I knew was playing it, so it was kind of like jump in, play a couple of rounds, get back to work, etc. I played a lot with Andre, actually. Rip in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Andre.
Did he talk about us meeting? I met Andre a couple weeks ago.
He talked about it very briefly. He did, yes.
He was like, no, I didn't listen to the podcast. I should probably go and listen.
Can I tell a funny story about that? You know what? Finish what you're doing, what you're saying.
No, I was basically done. Everyone should try that demo because it's free. and it doesn't have limited uses like most other Monster Hunter demos. You can just go and go and go.
Nice.
It's got 3 difficulty levels, and every weapon is selectable from the start.
Oh, that's kind of neat, actually.
Yeah, there's probably like, if you wanted to, there's probably like 15 hours of content in that demo. You're rerunning the same 3 monsters over and over, but like you can play multiplayer, you can play single player, you can play every combination of weapons.
That's cool.
That's great.
Surprisingly kind.
It's generous.
Normally they have that.
Yeah, generous.
They have that amount of content, but they'll only let you pay it 3 times. That's normally the Monster Hunter way.
Mm.
I was thinking about getting it out of curiosity.
So, what was up with the funny story with Andre in Japan?
So we went to Universal Studios Japan, where they had a new Evangelion ride there.
That's unfortunate.
So, all right. So, I mean, I know how you feel about Evangelion, but you gotta admit that theme song is a super hot fire banger, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's lit, fam.
Yes, exactly. So Xavier and I the whole time we're like talking shit about how like, oh, they're gonna play that song like a million times on the line, and then the entire time we're on the ride. Because of course you should, right? They didn't play it once, not a single time at all. Not even once. And so we were so upset, so disappointed. We're like, what kind of theme park is this? Like, what ride is this? I mean, the ride was actually really cool. It was really fun. It was like a VR roller coaster. It was really awesome. But then we met up with Andre's girlfriend for karaoke after, and the very first song she sings, the very first song is the theme song. And Xavier and I were so happy. We were so excited.
So she wasn't even with you at the time for the ride?
She was not with us. She didn't know anything about like Xavier and I talking about like the theme song and how it wasn't playing, and he was, you know, like it was completely unprompted. That was just the first song she picked. It was like a top 10 most beautiful moment in my life.
And I'm glad Karen could be a part of it.
Yeah, she's also a great singer.
Oh.
Andre sang "Hot in Here." That was fun.
Oh, I hope someone got a video of that.
No, actually, I don't have any videos from that night. I don't know how that happened, but I don't have a single one.
Ridiculous.
That's from the day after. Xavier said that we do have videos, but Xavier and I went to karaoke by ourselves the day after, and
No, the Harry Potter ride.
Oh, the picture from the Harry Potter ride. Oh, I thought you were talking about the song picture that we karaoke'd by Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I chopped it in the group chat, right? That horrible picture.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll use that as the picture for this episode.
That sounds good.
Very fun. If there was a better one, the Jurassic Park one was better, but I wasn't going to pay for 2 of them, honestly.
I just take a picture of the screen. That's what I always do.
They're so aggressive about it. They're like right there and just gave you like a big X. No, don't take a picture.
Wow.
You know.
Just speak Spanish at them until they let you do it.
So, Erica.
Yes.
Did you have... I already know the answer to one of these, but did you have an opportunity to visit any cool like animal cafes or the Fox Island?
The Fox Island, we wanted to go, but it's like so far.
Yeah.
And it's such a hassle to get to that like you'd kind of have to stay the night there, and like we weren't really prepared to do so. But we did go to an owl cafe, which was super cool. I was kind of afraid going into it because I thought like maybe it was gonna be like a little sad, but it actually wasn't sad at all. Like the owls are super well taken care of. Like you could tell the staff really cares and knows the owls' personalities really well, because like when we got there, Xavier gave his name as a reservation instead of mine because he thought it was under his name.
Sure.
And they got very excited when they heard his name because they had an owl named Charles Xavier. And they're like, oh. So then as soon as it was time to like hold owls, they brought Charles Xavier over to Xavier and had him hold him. And they asked me which one I wanted to hold. And I said, oh, I don't know, this one. And I like pointed to like a random owl, and they said, that's not a great idea. They said that's Charles
dick.
said that he was enemies with Charles Xavier.
That's hilarious.
It was a bad idea. And I said, okay, then which one do you recommend? And they said sweet potato. I'm like, okay, great. Like, sweet potato is a superstar.
That's amazing.
And she was a superstar. She was great. She was very sweet. She was a sweet potato. And, you know, like, that place was really awesome. I highly recommend it. It's I'm trying to find the name of it, because if anybody's ever listening to this and is going to, it's called Akiba Fukuro Owl Cafe. It's in Akihabara.
Yeah.
And it was really, really cool, and highly recommend it. Not expensive too, which was cool. Not a cafe. Also, there is no food or drinks there.
You just have owls in a room.
Just owls. Most of the owls were named after food, though, but you can't eat the owls.
Not with that attitude. But that's super cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really like that place a lot.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I did the Studio Ghibli Museum, which was really cool too. That was really awesome.
Yes,
they have
please.
like they play like a shorts that are like exclusive to the museum there.
Right.
Wow.
And they had just like debuted like a new one, so we got to see that one, which was pretty cool. It was about like a little caterpillar, and there's a lot of poop in it, which is weird.
Oh man,
Awesome.
I need to go to Japan.
It was very funny. The kids were dying. They were just laughing so hard when there was
Well,
like a shower of caterpillar poop.
that's wonderful. I mean, have you ever seen Pompoko?
No.
Have you, Sam?
No, I haven't.
Oh, so that is a older Ghibli movie that has a lot of raccoon balls. So
Go on.
yeah, I'm just saying recommended. It's pretty good.
Yeah, like that museum is really cool. They don't allow you to use phones in the museum, so I don't really have any pictures of it other than the outside. But you also cannot buy tickets there. You have to get them in advance, like the month before. And so but they do have a ticketing booth that just has a giant Totoro in it instead. And like, I mean, obviously he can't sell you any tickets. He's just a giant stuffed animal.
He's just decorative.
Yeah. But it was so beautiful. It was really, really pretty. It was really, you could tell a lot of care went into it. It wasn't like, you know, just slapped together.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, I think. Is there any other cool parts of Japan that you want to talk about?
Man, I mean, probably. Oh, the baseball game. It was lit.
What?
Oh
Wait.
my God. We
Wait,
went to
wait. So do you frequently attend baseball games? Is this...
I have been to several baseball games, but I am not a baseball fan.
Okay.
My mom is a really big Yankees fan, so I went to a lot of Yankees games as a child. And then like one of Xavier's coworkers plays in like a marching band that played in Shea Stadium for the Mets, so we went to that like last year. I've been to like baseball games and fairly recently, but I'm not like, I don't follow the sport.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to a baseball game because we're just like, I don't know, why not? It seems like a thing to do. And it seemed, you know, like a relatively inexpensive day, because you just go there, and I mean, you got to pay for your ticket, but it wasn't horrendous. It was in the Tokyo Dome, which was really cool because Wrestle Kingdom's in the Tokyo Dome. I was excited about that. But yeah, we saw the Tokyo Giants against something dragons. I don't remember where they're from. The dragons in Japan. The Chunichi dragons. And it was fire. Oh my God. So they have designated cheering sections in like for seating. So you have to buy tickets in the cheering section if you want to be a loud person in like the stadium. And then they also have a designated section for the away teams cheering section.
Oh.
So, and those people were on one. Oh my God. Like they were like first they cheer from the moment like every baseball player has its own chant and like a weird hand dance movement with it.
Really?
And yes, and they start from the moment they step up to the plate and they do not stop until he leaves. Like it is just
wow.
It's so aggressive, it's so loud, it's really fun. Like we were seated like somewhat near the away team's cheering section, and they were so much more hype than like the home team's cheering section.
That's
probably because like I don't know, they were trying to put on a good face for them, I guess. But
totally. I mean so I have a similar experience in terms of kind of being an away team section. 2 years ago, well, I've been a couple times, but specifically 2 years ago, I went to the International, the Dota tournament.
Oh, wow.
There's a whole section that is taken up by the Chinese fans, and it is louder than any other section by like an order of magnitude, even though it's just that tiny little sliver of people. So it's amazing how much volume people can produce when they're concentrated like that.
Yeah, like wow, it was really cool. It was a lot though.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a museum that had a Shonen Jump exhibition going on too, which was really cool. I bought some My Hero Academia stuff there. I got a big poster that was cool. I got to get a frame for it.
Are you gonna get some of those glasses?
Like I would if it was in the budget, but your girl's unemployed and spent way too much money in Japan. But yeah, like I bought way too much stuff. I bought so much stuff in the wrestling store. Like the New Japan has like their own store that they gave me washi tape that I don't know what to do with, but they gave me like 4 Bullet Club washi tapes, and like I'm like I don't know.
What is a washi tape?
Yeah, what's a washi tape?
Okay, so I kind of know what this is because one of my family members uses like planners and has like an Instagram following for her planner. So they're like it's like decorative tape that like you can use to just like you put it like she like divides things with it. I guess it's like just decorative tape, but so now I have all of this Bullet Club washi tape that I don't know what to do with, but because I don't have a planner and I don't have the patience to maintain a planner either.
I thought it was like I can't remember what the name, like physio tape, like you tape up your thumbs when you do weightlifting and stuff.
Yeah. Use it for boxing.
Yeah, this would rip pretty easily, but I got this really cool shirt there. I don't know if you guys remember Yano from the Wrestle Kingdom. He does like a thing that goes like Toro Yano.
Oh yeah.
And, like, so he's got like this Trivium Man, which I think was a clever use of that.
That's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So Xavier bought it, and then I talked him into giving it to me because I wanted it. But,
that's true love right there.
It's more that he's very sweaty and would yellow this white shirt very quickly.
Oh, I just realized I bought a white shirt.
It's a problem.
Yeah, the shirt that I wore to JFK on the final day when it was like mega hot was like kind of semi-ruined. But luckily, Strong Wash fixed it. It was this shirt actually. But yeah, Strong Wash fixed it. But there were some extremely white sweat patches that had like very, very sweaty that had then dried. Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's real hot in Japan. So dude. I hear you. Like
and humid.
Yeah, man. The humidity. Like I almost died when we were with Andre the day before I threw up because of the heat. Like wow. It's just like it's a rough time. Especially when like we did like a thing called we did a thing it's Yamadera, which translates to mountain temple. So we climbed like 1,000 steps up like this place to go see a temple, and then 1,000 steps back down, and this not it's not a spot for someone as asthmatic as I am to be because the air is real thin up there. Like it was a bad time. Also, our layover in China was not good for my asthma either. Also, we were by like an active volcano, and that was also not good for my asthma. And they gave me like a weird towel. I still have it because I didn't use it. But they gave me like a wet towel to breathe through. Like it was like an individually wrapped one to breathe through in case I couldn't handle like the volcanic ash in the air.
Wow.
I mean, that's very nice of them to have handy, but that's not a consideration that you generally have in Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had my inhaler with me, so I mean, I was okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you guys I was in Toronto last week, and we actually went to a baseball game as well, to the Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. So obviously, I was cheering for the Red Sox given my history with Boston, but we were leaving and we were like, oh, it's raining a little bit. That's fine. So we're just going to walk through the rain. No, it ended up they had a ton of flash flooding and like it was a really intense storm. And at one point we were walking through the street with water almost up to our hips.
Oh my God.
Like it was really amazing.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was.
That's
so
crazy.
Toronto, it's a beautiful city full of flooding and natural disasters and stuff. It's great.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
That's scary. You weren't like afraid of like getting taken away?
no, I thought it was hilarious.
Okay. Oh boy. I don't know. Like we had rains that bad when like Hurricane Sandy was happening, and it was no way I was going outside of that.
Yeah, we didn't have anything crazy when we were in New York, but like every day it was like 35 degrees and it just felt like it was 45. Like obviously we're not super used to the old hot weather.
Sorry, Erica, for context, 45 is like 110.
Okay.
Maybe 100, 110.
Okay, what's 35?
It's like
90s?
80, isn't it? 90?
Yeah, I think it's like 90-ish.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like New York summer.
Yeah.
It's real.
yeah,
It's rough. It's not as bad as Japan, but it's real rough.
Yeah, I don't know whether I would go again in the summer. I think it'd be fun to go like winter time sort of thing.
45 Celsius is 113 Fahrenheit. So
We do get a snowy winter. Like
Yes, you
it's like we don't get like snow every day, but when it does, like it usually like dumps, you know? So
same.
like like if you could go like fall or spring, that's probably a better time to go.
February is a very great time to visit New York because it's not extraordinarily cold and there's also very few tourists.
That does sound good. There were very few tourists, although it made me laugh. A lot of places I was like, oh, we'll be cool because we'll be the British people. And there were British people in the queue in front of us.
It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I did write a quiz for this week. I just realized the time. I did write a quiz, and it's based on the games that were going to be discussed in episode 30.
Oh my god, what was episode 30?
Episode 30 was Florence, No Man's Sky, and somebody else had something else.
Let me see if I can pull up that episode.
I deleted all of the data that I had here previously, which had the names.
Octopath Traveler, No Man's Sky, and Florence. Yep.
Yeah. So, okay.
All right, this is a 1v1, Erica.
Yeah, 1v1. I should have done all true or false questions and made you both pick the opposite. Take turns.
I wasn't even on this week that week's podcast.
Well, this is going to be fun for everyone.
All right.
Okay, 2 Florence questions.
Hell yeah.
Florence question number 1. How old is Florence?
Oh, great.
Is she...
Wait, at the start of the game or the end of the game? Because there's some time that passes.
How old is she stated when you look it up on Wikipedia?
Okay.
Is she A, 25, B, 28, or C, 23?
Okay.
Okay.
A, 25, B, 28, C, 23. Let's get your answers, please. 3, 2, 1. Show me the money. You're both wrong. She's 25.
I thought she was 28 at the end of it, but
Hey, look, I'm going by the Wikipedia description of the game.
okay.
I have played it, but I played it the day it came out. So
I haven't played it at all, so that was a pure guess.
It's really good. You should play it.
It's very, very good. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Speaking of the day it came out, Florence was released on March 14th, 2018. True or false? A is true, B is false.
I played it like 3 weeks ago.
Can you give me that date again?
March 14th, 2018.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Let's get your answers in 3, 2, 1. It is false. So Alex gets that one right.
Yeah, I thought did we talk about it in February or something?
Yeah, it came out on Valentine's Day.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that makes
So I
sense.
just added a month. Here's one.
I was
for
like,
Pats
oh,
in the
March
audience.
seems right for when you were talking about it.
It was very close. Here's one for the Pats in the audience. Which band recorded the soundtrack for No Man's Sky?
Oh, wow.
Oh shit.
Is it A, 65 Days of Static, B, Explosions in the Sky, or C, Godspeed, exclamation point, You Black Emperor?
Okay.
So that's A, 65 Days of Static, B, Explosions in the Sky, C, Godspeed, You Black Emperor. Everybody ready?
Hell yeah.
Let's get the answers in 3, 2, 1. A is correct, so you both get a point for that
Oh,
one.
yeah. I just know those other 2 bands, so I feel like it would have stuck out if they were doing the soundtrack.
The name just sounded right to me, like maybe I had heard it somewhere, but
Soundtrack's fantastic.
Maybe Pat said it while going "Hall."
that's all Xavier's been playing since we've gotten back from vacation. Is No Man's
really?
Sky. Yeah. Oh, speaking of music, real quick as an interjection, I suggested Just Shapes and Beats to Xavier. I said Alex recommended Just Shapes and Beats as like a co-op game we could play together. And he goes, that sounds like something his music ass would recommend.
It's true. I am a music ass. It's true. But you weren't. No, neither of you were for that episode. But that game is extraordinarily charming, and it's definitely coming up in Game of the Year discussions for everything.
Ooh,
I
didn't.
very much plan to play it.
Yeah, it is right now sitting at my number 2, maybe number 1. It depends on the day. It has the best story mode. It's so good.
Cool. Okay, 2 more questions. Question 4. This one was actually put in for Andre, but he's slept through the show.
Rip.
Rest in power, Andre. How many episodes were there of Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, wow.
Is it A?
Z.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd said it your way. How many episodes were there of Dragon Ball Z? Is it A, over 9,000? Is it B, 420? Is it C, 291?
I know what I want it to be.
When I was playing Monster Hunter this morning, I set up a private lobby and you have to put in a 4-digit code. And I'm talking over voice chat with my friend, and he's like, "Oh, what's the code?" And I was like, "What do you think it is?" And then instantly he showed up in the lobby. He put in 6969, which is what I had already put in.
Nice.
Okay, so how many episodes were there of Dragon Ball Z? Were there A, over 9,000, B, 420, C, 291? Let's get your answers, please, in 3, 2, 1. You're both correct. That was an easy one.
I really,
It
really
didn't
wish
sound
it
like
was
enough.
420 though. That would be hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it
I
didn't
wanted
sound like
it.
enough to me that I was like almost like maybe it is 420. Like,
And finally, for our guest star, what was Waluigi's first appearance? Not on this podcast. What year? Sorry, it was Waluigi's first
Oh,
appearance.
what year?
what year?
Oh, that's way
Ooh, wow.
harder. Because
Yeah,
I
isn't
know
it?
the game.
Is it A, 2006, B, 2004, or C, 2000, the millennium itself?
Can you give it to me again?
Yep. So what year is Waluigi's first appearance? A, 2006, B, 2004, C, 2000.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I think I know what it is.
I think so too.
Let's get your answers in 3, 2, 1. It is C. You're both correct.
Hell yeah. It was that Game Boy Mario Tennis, wasn't it?
It was an N64 game, I think. 64 Mario Tennis?
It was definitely one of the Mario Tennises. I thought it was the Game Boy one.
Mario Tennis. Nintendo 64 was his first appearance. First debuting in the 2000 Nintendo 64 game Mario Tennis to polarizing reception from the media, Waluigi has since attained a cult following, especially helped through his use as an internet meme.
Yeah, the Game Boy one came out slightly later that year.
Oh, it was the same year? Okay, that's the
Same
first
year.
time I saw him. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It was like July and then November.
Oh, sick.
I just looked that up. I didn't have that knowledge in my head.
No, thank you. I was like, am I crazy?
There's an extremely long and interesting article about Mario sports games on Kotaku that's linked from that Wikipedia. I'll send it to you guys. It's like 2 to 3 pages long.
That's disturbing. I imagine
Yeah.
Sonic and Mario at the Olympics probably takes up a lot of that because licensing weirdness.
Where's that messenger thread? There we go. But yes, that's pretty much it. That's all I have planned. Actually, I have one more thing that I wanted to talk about. And you guys can throw this out the window if you like.
Are you going to talk about sexism in the industry? Because
No.
we'll be here for another 2 hours if we do.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes to midnight, so I need to get out of here and listen to that Linkin Park song.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
good reference.
Wow.
So I was listening to the Giant Beast cast recently, and I noticed that they had this running joke where they ask Jeff Backelor if he completed his homework. And I don't want to give you all homework, but what I thought would be interesting is if you set a goal for something gaming related you wanted to do this week. So, for example, it could be like, I want to try Just Shapes and Beats, or I want to play something on the Switch, or I just I had this idea. We could all go away and think about it, decide whether we would ever want to do it. But I think it might be slightly helpful for me, as I don't tend to schedule time in to play games much anymore because I have very little free time at the moment. Yeah.
I've got one because I feel like otherwise I might not do this. I need to finish Overcooked 2 by next week because I need to put that game away.
You need it out of your life now.
I need it out of my life, and the only way it's getting out of my life is if I finish it.
So you have to treat it like a turd. You have to pass it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of turds, I have a really good video to send you guys.
Oh, I am so ready.
Your body is Reggie.
I'll definitely be bringing Overcooked 2 next week.
Okay, spoilers.
Oof. Next week I will try and bring something that was released in 2018. I promise nothing. I really want to play Dead Cells actually, and I'm
you should.
forcing myself not to buy and play it because I'm playing other video games. Like I've got Ys, and Ys is like a 90-hour game, and I'm like 10 hours in. So I really want to play more of it. I sent like I was renting East and Octopath, and I sent back Octopath. So I was like, I want to only play one game. The video that I've sent you is insane, by the way. It was filmed at the University of Bath.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It
That's just a huge turd.
yeah, it's so big.
Oh my
They're
god!
They're poking
Whoa!
it. They're poking it with a stick.
Whoa!
Oh
Like,
wow,
you
they're fishing it
told me.
out. Oh my god.
Because it won't flush, they have to get it out.
Okay, okay, I saw the title and I was like, okay, yeah, I know what this is gonna be, but wow, it's so much bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
It's like 3 Keurigs.
Oh my god.
So
Whoa.
Andre isn't currently on the cast. He just sent a message to the chat asking why. All right, now I know what the image for this episode is going to be.
Oh no.
It should just be the image of the man looking at the camera. If you know, you know.
Oh my god.
English Facebook is brilliant. You're really missing out.
So
Red-faced,
so-
crying, laughing.
So speaking of turds, my goal for next week is I'm going to do at least a couple days of streaming.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you know what? My goal, I'm going to say it right now, I'm going to hopefully do it tomorrow, is I'm going to finish Warmind, the second DLC for Destiny 2. So I want to be done by the time Destiny comes out, and I think that's a great aim for me to go for.
Destiny?
Destino. Excellent.
Anthem? When does Anthem come out? Is that still November or whatever?
March next year.
Oh, I thought it was this year. Okay, never mind.
No, it's March next year. It's like a week after Division 2. Or vice versa. No, Anthem is February 22nd and Division 2 is March, like
Okay.
1st or 2nd or something.
That'll be interesting. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably end this podcast because now we've already watched a 54-second video of a man fishing a poo out of a toilet.
To be fair, it was a very impressive move.
Fiona's watching it, she's like, oh yeah. That's not. She looks at me, she says, a human cannot have made that. So
Wow.
that's our evening.
Yeah. Thank you for all of this, for all the poops and all of the stories of foreign lands.
Yeah, no worries. I spent 4 hours like 5 hours in the car today, so I'm a bit loopy.
It's been good to be back.
Definitely. Let's talk about where you can find us all. You can Google Alex. It's very easy. He's nodding. You can.
Yeah.
Where can they follow you on Twitch, Alex? If you're going to stream this week.
I can try and stream to Pornhub. So if you go to pornhub.com/user/COOLSL4W, there might be a stream of our video games on there and nothing else because it is a completely safe for work channel.
Oh my god.
What about any? Oh, so you've marked it safe for work, which means that no suggested links can come up.
Right. Well, no, I can't guarantee that if you go to Pornhub that you'll see anything remotely safe for work, but our stream will be safe for work.
Excellent. And Erica, where can everyone find you?
If you want to go look at all my vacation pictures and a lot of wrestling pictures mostly, you can go to my Instagram, which is Erica, spelled AIREHCUH. Maybe I'll record an episode of my other podcast one day, which is called Tempered Expectations. Man, I really should do that.
I
got a lot to talk
expectations for the next episode.
I've got so much to talk about now. We went to the G1. Tanahashi won. The guy with the nice hair. The one with the big fluffy ponytail. Oh my goodness.
I'll definitely listen to the next episode. Oh gosh, don't tap my hands.
That's your homework. You know what? That's my homework. I'm going to record an episode of my other podcast.
Excellent. And we're going to get back to recording Comic Book Fix.
Yeah, well, we're going to
2 weeks.
record one episode.
Yeah, record and release one episode. Did you read Fantastic Four issue 1? Or did
I
you not?
didn't yet.
It's very good. I would
my
highly
other
recommend it. Alex, if you like Fantastic Four or you are vaguely interested, it's a very, very good issue.
I'm ambivalent.
That's kind of how
Most
I feel
people are.
about Fantastic Four, also, to be honest.
But written by the guy who wrote the Spider-Man issue that we read 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely read it. It's not like always commit to one issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody so much for listening. We'll let you know via various social media and avenues if we record a comic book podcast. And thanks for tuning in, listening, liking, subscribing. Leave us a review, I guess, on anything you're listening to this on. Literally anything. We'll take it.
Dune.
Yeah. If you want to comment on our Facebook page or anywhere like that, if you ask us anything, we'll discuss it, I'm sure, because you'd be the only person to have done so. And we'll speak to you all next week.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Watch Happy Sugar Life. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I don't think I want to. Bye.